For decades, an IT professional's value was directly proportional to the specialized syntax and business rules locked inside their head. Career seniority was measured by how much technical friction a person had overcome. That information has been externalized. Technical execution skills now reside in large language models, while complex domain logic is increasingly housed in RAG-optimized vector databases. This graph tracks where enterprise knowledge is stored. The red line is human heads. The yellow is AI and knowledge bases. In 2021, digital knowledge surpassed human capacity. By 2027, the human head is no longer the primary repository for technical execution. Because knowledge has migrated to the infrastructure itself, the proprietary code and individual technical skills that once defined an IT department are no longer its most valuable assets. Most organizations respond to this by pushing additive reskilling. They encourage professionals to collect new certifications or learn the syntax of AI coding tools. This strategy fails because it ignores cognitive hardwiring. You cannot layer the high-level behaviors of a director onto a brain that has spent 20 years optimizing for reductionist, line-by-line logic. Survival requires a subtractive mindset. It is an evolutionary response to a threat that prizes shedding old professional identities over acquiring new technical tools. You have to unlearn the instinct to write code to own a solution. You have to abandon the reliance on specialized silos and the belief that you are only technical if you are working in a terminal. The current shift is a filter. It identifies those who can evolve and eliminates the traditional specialist role, requiring a total sacrifice of professional ego. We can categorize current IT roles based on their vulnerability to this knowledge migration. We call this the extinction matrix. This specialist card shows a role in high risk. For years, they relied on the friction of learning difficult tools. Now that AI has removed that friction, their primary asset, the hours spent learning syntax, has become a liability. They are too expensive for the commodity produced. Next is the coordinator. These are the middlemen who historically managed the communication gap between domain experts and technical executors. This dashboard labels the coordinator as obsolete middleware. When an AI can ingest a domain knowledge base and output code directly, the person standing in the middle is just latency. The info architect is the survivor. As knowledge bases become the source of truth, the person who designs the taxonomy and the flow of that information becomes the guardian of accuracy. Without them, the AI simply hallucinates. In this new landscape, any role defined by hoarding syntax or routing messages between silos is functionally dead. The economic data shows how quickly traditional technical assets are losing their market value. This bar chart measures the market premium on specific IT skills. Notice the deep negative value assigned to syntax and coordination. The market is actively devaluing these execution-heavy roles. On the positive side, the demand for architecture and orchestration is skyrocketing. This creates a massive educational mismatch. Traditional video courses and certifications are linear, rules-based systems. They are incapable of teaching the nonlinear, architectural systems thinking that the market now demands. Traditional certifications are depreciating assets. The market has moved past rewarding the execution of tasks and is now focused entirely on the orchestration of systems. The orchestrator is the new center of value. They may not know how to write the perfect loop, but they know exactly how to describe the system. They treat AI and knowledge bases as a high-performance engine. This radar chart compares the old specialist to the orchestrator. Deep coding has collapsed. In its place, the profile expands into prompt craft, system design, and domain synthesis. The critical skill here is information architecture. It requires organizing ontologies so that a machine can navigate business concepts without losing context or accuracy. This comparison shows where the time is actually spent. Writing syntax and debugging code are replaced by structuring information and synthesizing intent. This earns the orchestrator their value. They engineer optimized systems without writing syntax, because their work is the pre-computation of logic. If transformation is the only way forward, how does an individual initiate this shift? This roadmap identifies the first phase as the unlearning protocol. It is built on self-imposed constraints, not new content. The first constraint, stop writing. Force yourself to build a feature without touching the keyboard for code. If you cannot describe the logic well enough for an AI to build it perfectly, your logic is the problem, not your syntax. The second constraint, Abandon the IDE. Spend the first few days of any project on a whiteboard. If your value is tied to the terminal, you are a commodity. If it is in the blueprint, you are an asset. The third constraint: slay the SME ego. You are no longer the source of domain knowledge, the knowledge base is. Your job is to structure that data so the machine can apply it correctly. You must intentionally render your most comfortable tools unnecessary to force the mind into an architectural role. This concludes with the 30-day Director Challenge. It is designed to cement these behavioral shifts. In the first 2 weeks, you focus on contextualizing. You map a manual business process into a knowledge base of every rule and edge case. No solution code is allowed. In weeks 3 and 4, you orchestrate. You use different AI agents to build the solution, communicating with them only through high-level architecture documents. There is a psychological cost. If you feel useless during this process, you are doing it correctly. That feeling is the specialist ego dying. The IT extinction event is not a future threat. It is currently filtering the workforce. The future belongs to those who stop being the worker and start being the one who manages the machines.